Namaskar. The topic of this video is Be Great. The very core desire within us, the deepest longing within us is this longing for greatness. If you really examine yourself, you go deep within yourself, you will find the most precious and beautiful thing that you cherish, that you desire for, is this aspiration towards greatness. The basis of human psychology, something which defines us as human beings. It is so fundamental that we cannot be happy unless we find the path towards the greatness. In philosophy, it is said, Brihad Ishanam Pranidhanam Cha Dharma. Brihad Ishanam means aspiration for the great entity. And Pranidhanam, Brihad Ishanam means desiring the great. And then Pranidhanam means taking refuge, establishing yourself in, leaving all things aside and establishing yourself on that platform, taking the shelter of the great. So Brihadishanam Pranidhanam Cha Dharma. The most fundamental characteristic of a human being, the innate dharma of human being, is to desire and to do some practical steps towards the great entity. And what is great entity is nothing but infinity, consciousness, absolute consciousness. So we want to move towards greatness, and as we move towards greatness, we ourselves acquire the characteristics of greatness. What is that greatness? Greatness is the largeness of the heart, largeness of your love, largeness of your mind, great ideas, big scale of thinking. So that is. And then, how do I become like that? How shall I become like that? My master, Shri Anandamurti, he has said in a very beautiful and a very concise way. He said, it is the action that makes person great. Be great by your sadhana, your service, and your sacrifice. So you will become great by these three means. The first one is your sadhana. Sadhana is an effort to complete yourself. If you want your mind to enlarge, you have to rub the mind against the great ideas. Ideas or idea. The ultimate idea is an idea of consciousness, of infinity. So you try to rub your mind against that idea. How is it to be infinite? How is it to be an absolute love and bliss? I remember in the childhood, I was meditating unconsciously. I didn't know I was meditating. I was just lying on the bed and I was contemplating different big matters. I was thinking, like my father told me, the universe is infinite. I couldn't get rid of that idea. I was just thinking, how is it infinite? I just want to know, how is it infinite? I can imagine this much, that much. Even very big I can imagine. But how is it infinite? Means there is no limits. No limits at all. No any limits, infinite. So I used to just drift with that idea. Or sometimes my mother told me. She told me, I asked her, but what will happen when I die? She said, you will be no more. There will be no more you. And then again I went to think, no me? I don't believe, this is impossible. I will always be. I always been, I feel. Somehow, I don't remember, but I feel I was always there. And I will always be there. And I was trying to figure it out. I would try to, but I rejected, as a child, I rejected that idea that I will be no more. I couldn't accept. My heart, my deeper intuition would not agree with that. So that kind of thinking, trying to fit something very big into our mind, is what making the mind grow, the mind start to expand. And that what we understand by meditation or sadhana. Sadhana actually means an effort to complete yourself. I am incomplete. My understanding is incomplete. There is one beautiful thing. It says, Brahmavid, Brahmayava, Bhavati. Brahmavid means the one who have visioned, who have seen, who have understood, who have known the great Brahma. Brihadvat Brahma, Brimhantvat Brahma. The one who is great and who makes others great also. Those who contemplate on him, they become like him. So that's the definition of Brahma. Brihatvat Brahma, Brimhantvat Brahma, Jatra Nanyat Pashyati, Nanyat Shrinoti, Nanyat Vijati, Sabhuma. The one who is great. Everything is in comparison. Like, for example, to this small ant, I'm surely great. I mean, in size. The ant will just marvel, wow, what is this man? It's like a big mountain. But in comparison with Earth, my body is just a speck of dust, nothing more than that. And the Earth is nothing but a speck of dust if you compare with the Sirius or Betelgeuse, the big stars. And the star is nothing comparing to the galaxy, and the galaxy is really nothing comparing to the universe. So we cannot call anything great except something ultimate. So Brahma, consciousness, is the one who is great. That is his unified identity. Not only that, but Brimhantvat Brahma, the one who also makes others great. If you think about that idea, your mind is going to expand also. That's the quality of Brahma. And then Brahmavid Brahmayava Bhavati. The one who has known Brahma, who could realize, understand, then Brahmayava Bhavati. He also becomes Brahma. He merges with him. It's like the doll made of salt went to measure the ocean. What happened to the doll, nobody knows. But the doll has become the ocean. So I'm going there to measure that ocean. I'm going there seriously to think about infinity. I'm gonna figure it out. What is this infinity? What is this consciousness? What is this consciousness? It's really interesting. What is this consciousness? Consciousness is not an inert matter. It's not space. It's not stars. Rather, it is something intelligent, something aware and alive, living. We call things living by the degree of consciousness manifested in them. Human being is the most clear reflection of consciousness. So we see the manifestation of life, intelligence and consciousness in us the most. So you are going there to seriously figure it out. What is this infinity? I want to understand it. And I want to understand, you know, I'm just talking out of what things comes in my mind. They used to describe that ultimate reality by the term Satchidananda. It's a beautiful thing. Sat, it is something which is not changing. Everything is changing. My body is made of carbon atoms, hydrogen atoms, and so many other atoms. When it will be decomposed, the atoms will go and will become part of something else. Maybe next crop of potatoes coming out of the body of Ananda. Who knows? And the atoms will remain the same. But even the atom will change. But there is something which will never change. We can think that maybe space-time itself is something which is not changing. No, but space-time is also of an expanding nature. It's not always the same. It's changing. Something which is beyond, which is more fundamental. And that is we call consciousness. And that is the quality of Sat. Sat, always same. Everything will change. The form will change, but the essence will remain the same. So let me contemplate, what is that entity, unchangeable entity? What is that unmutable entity? And Chit is, it has the quality of awareness. It is a living thing, basically. Like when I look at you, like this, in your eyes, there is an eye contact. And immediately you know that somebody is there in these eyes. Hello, anybody home? Immediately you feel, I pay attention to you. Sometimes I can look at you, but not listen really. Then you will feel my eyes become empty. There is no consciousness, there is no touch of consciousness. Sometimes, even through the phone, you can get that kind of feeling of contacting with another intelligence. You feel that. Even in a dog, the dog looks at you with understanding, and you feel somebody is there. Hello? Is anybody home? Yes, home, very much home. So there is this. It is the quality of awareness, of being, of reception, of transmission, of knowledge and energy through that contact of consciousness. So also, in your meditation you explore, you try to grasp that. I'm in touch with infinite reality. That infinite reality, not simply there, just like a universe who doesn't care, I think, is physical. But the consciousness is different. It's something which cares and knows. I'm a person of limited consciousness. So I'm aware of certain things, but other things I'm not aware of. But infinite consciousness is infinitely aware. And being so, this infinite consciousness is also aware of such things as yourself. And when you meditate on the Supreme Consciousness also meditates on you. And there is this connection. So discovery of that feeling, discovery of that connection, that actually I can come in touch with divine, I can feel that. Just like you look in the eyes of the person and you get understanding through the eyes, you get inspiration through the eyes. Similarly, in meditation, when you come in touch with that, you get an understanding, the knowledge, the ideas, the transmission of knowledge. One of the definitions of the Brahma is the Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the infinite knowledge, infinite flow of knowledge is Brahma. So similarly, you meditate, and you meditating not only on something which is unchangeable. Maybe like you can meditate on emptiness is also maybe unchangeable. But on something which is not only unchangeable, but is also infinitely aware. It's like understanding every atom of you, everything of yours. And you meditate, you try to understand, how is this? Infinite intelligence. And then, finally, it is Anandam. Anandam means the blissful entity. It is just concentrated joy. So you try to measure. And that kind of effort, that kind of attempt to know, to understand, is called sadhana. It is also called Jnana Yoga. It is also called Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge. And when you do technique, it is a karma yoga. It is a yoga of action. And when you serve the society, I will come later to it, is also karma yoga. And when you love the supreme entity, you become acquainted with that, and you understand that it is not a material thing. It's not like matter is inert. But the consciousness is not inert, it's a living thing. So when you realize that, you fall in love with that. And that love, that attraction of love, is called Bhakti Yoga. So one way to be great is to constantly rub your mind against a great idea. You try to measure that infinite ocean. You are that doll made of salt. And you are there, you set up to the ultimate journey of measuring the ocean. You will lose yourself in that ocean, but you will know the ocean. So that is the sadhana portion. And by that, you expand your mind day by day, day by day. Sometimes I initiate the person, teach him the first lesson of meditation, and after I come after like 6 months, and I talk to the person, and I see the person is intelligent. He is able to appreciate subtle things and ideas. And it is just so surprising and wonderful, because I've seen him half a year ago. It was not there. It was not there. That ability was not there. That awareness was not there. But now he has meditated for 6 months, and he has become that. His subtlety is there. That's very beautiful. Another thing, be great by your service. Service, there are 3 ways to interact with the world. Stealing, doing business, and serving. Stealing is when you give this much and take this much. Or give nothing and take something. That is stealing. Business is when you give something and you get something. And by doing business, you multiply. You give something, but you get more. And the person also gets what he needs. And by doing business, we all grow. We all prosper. Exchange, complement each other. But there is still another way, even greater way, is service. Is when you give this much and you get this much. Or give something and not get anything. So that is service. And the service goes with the expanded mind. Because you feel the entire planet is my home. So if I help someone, there is nothing extraordinary in that. If I'm in my house and I'm sweeping the kitchen, am I to be prized for that? It's my kitchen, I need to take care. But the expansion of the mind allows you to think that the entire world is my kitchen actually. And I need to sweep the floor there. I need to serve, I need to help, I need to... Whatever is going wrong, whatever is creating disharmony, creating suffering on this planet, it is my responsibility to fix it. And to do and to help, and because my heart is full, my heart is overflowing, I would like to express my kindness, I would like to express my love in the form of action of kindness. So service, and it's very interesting, when you serve, you start to understand. Before that, cannot understand. Like, we have one practice which is advised to do every person, for every person. It is in the scripture. It is called sadhavrata. Sadhavrata means feeding the people who are in need. So especially for the householders, for the people, the family people, it should be like regular practice. When you go out, you meet the homeless person and you help with the food. It's not advised to give money. Always there are exceptions, but generally not advised to give money, because it will encourage the practice. It may encourage the practice of begging. We don't want to encourage. But at the same time, we have to care of all the members of society, advantaged and disadvantaged. And then many people, they reject this practice. They say, no, why should we help them? This is their choice, that's how they live. But still, when you inspire them, and they do, and then they talk to real people, and they found out their stories, they cry. They say, wow, I never thought it is like that. I never thought it's like that. There is a humanness, and there is understanding. There is love. So when you serve, your mind was this, but now you serve somebody. Your mind expands and hug somebody like this. So you expand your mind to envelop somebody in your circle of care. And through service, that becomes possible. But service is when you do not expect thank you, you don't expect appreciation. Rather, the very act of service is you feel that you have been obliged. You were so lucky because you could do this. This opportunity came and you could do this. And you feel that you are very much obliged, because through that you could open your heart, you could expand your consciousness. And then the third one, be great by your sadhana, be great by your service. Service, there can be so many kinds of service. Feeding people is one just, but many things. Whatever we do for society, with the intention to help society, not with the intention of getting something out of it, but really with the pure thought that I want to make this world a better place. That is a service. Intellectual service is there, financial service is there, the management service is there, and service by the labor is also there. And then finally, be great by your sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you let go of something small for something bigger. Sacrifice is of two kinds. One, we sacrifice to elevate our consciousness. For example, I want to go to the party. Should I go to the party or to collective meditation? You have to sacrifice one or another. You have to, because it is at the same time, it is going on. So you choose, you may choose anything, but for example, you choose that, yes, I go for collective meditation. So for something bigger, you sacrifice something smaller. But sometimes people don't think like this. They think, oh, collective meditation is every week is going on, and but the party is just one time in a life. But if you look with the wisdom, you will see that the importance of spiritual practice is greater than the importance of passing things, because in the end, the amount of path that we have passed, the distance we have traveled, this is what matters. Our evolutions, what we have achieved, what we have, how much closer we came towards that infinity, towards that greatness, towards that consciousness, is what matters. The parties may not matter. You may not even remember it. But the acts of sacrifice you will remember. The acts of sacrifice, not every often they come in our life. And then you battle within. You wrestle within. Should I do like this or should I do like that? There are many, it's like a parliament in the body. Greed, the Mrs. Greed has spoken. The Mr. Anger has spoken. And, so many, the lords of the, of the government, they have spoken. And then also Mrs. Love has spoken, Mrs. Devotion has spoken. And then there is, they have to come to some kind of conclusion. So that is the battle of sacrifice. And when you have this idea that by letting go of something small, I am going towards something big, that is sacrifice. So sacrifice in two directions. One is to elevate your consciousness. And another is to help others to elevate their consciousness. Is to help others to alleviate their pain. So you're letting go of something of yours, of something which may be dear for you, but eventually it is a small thing. You let it go to help others to remove their pain and suffering. In that process, the true spiritual nobility awakens in us, and you become great. And those are the moments of greatness. It's like, oh no, I cannot let it go. No, there is some dilemma. You know that proper way to do like this, but I cannot do like this. All my being wants to do this. And then there is a battle. And then finally you let it go. And there is a peak. It's like you are riding on that sacrifice. You are going very high on that. There is an opening in your consciousness. And then you will remember that. And you will bless that moment. So spiritual life is made of these three things. Basically, it consists of these three things. Because these three things, they transport you towards the infinity. And that's what I want. This is my deeper inner desire. The sadhana. An attempt to complete myself. An attempt to measure the Supreme Consciousness. The service. An attempt to give and not to take. I want to give. I'm not concerned with taking. Taking is automatically happening. But what I am concerned, what I can give today. In business life, you are concerned, how can I gain today? How can I increase my profits and how I can decrease my loss? But in spiritual life, you are concerned and you are trying to envision the ways. How can I serve? How I can be helpful towards human beings, animals, human society, the entire planet, whatever. And then finally sacrifice. If for the service and for sadhana, I need to do something, I need to let go of something, I'm ready to do that. Because without that sacrifice, neither sadhana nor service is not working. That sacrifice is enabling your sadhana and service. Because sadhana and service, they presuppose sacrifice. Without sacrifice, they are not happening. So that's a very beautiful thing, I find. And it is the most fundamental need. I want to move. I want to be on the path towards greatness. That's how I come alive. You just observe. Sometimes people, they're just not alive. They don't have this spark within. That drive, the uranium, plutonium burning within. It's not like, it's like, I'm slowly burning. My life is slowly going out. Not the inner, deeper happiness, the inner, deeper drive. Many times it is not there. And you can awaken it by these three things: sadhana, service, and sacrifice, to fulfill our dharma. I came as a small being, I came here as a microcosm, but I am living in the zenith of human glory. I am living as the glorious macrocosm, merging with that ocean of infinity, making myself immortal. Namaskar.